Hi everyone. I've come on today to give my take on my spirituality, on the way that I use my spirituality, or what it is to me, and the things that I do really, or some of the things that I do, some of the things that I've learned, and how I just go about my sort of life as it is. I've took some notes of what it feels to me, because I'll forget and I'll go off and ramble about something else. So I'll start there. To me, spirituality is being the best that you can be. That's one of the main things of my belief. Being the best person that you can be. And I don't mean like not having faults, or not getting cross, or things like that. Not having like natural emotions and reactions, because we all have them. At times. And you know, I'm not saying that I'm one of them people who is always calm, is always sort of zen-like, because that's far from me at all. I've got really sort of high emotions. I have learned how to control them to an extent over the years, but they'll still flash, yeah. Spirituality is like taking positive action, and to know that you've got a choice. You've got a choice in the way that you feel. You've got a choice in the way that you act. And in having those choices, you've also got to accept accountability for the actions that you take. And to be truthful, because if you're not truthful, then the lie itself, or the way that you may have acted compounding around that lie, will then cause shame and cause guilt, and it will just roller coaster into mind clutter, mind rubbish, and go round and round and round. You won't be able to be or I personally wouldn't be able to be present or in a good state in my spirit, in my mind, if that happens. So it's like to be truthful to yourself, be truthful in what you say, to look after yourself, by compassion, by talking to yourself as you would talk to a best friend, talk to a lover, talk to a partner, talk to your child. Remember that you need that also. You need that self-love. And to have that self-love, I believe you've got to have... sorry, a message just come up and it's threw me right off. To have that self-love, you've also got to have acceptance of who you are. And to know that there's something bigger than you. There's always something bigger than you. Be it, I don't know what your belief may be. You may believe in God. You may believe in the gods and the goddesses, or the spirit, the ether. Personally, my beliefs are in that there's something bigger than me. I don't know what it is. I can't give it a name. To me, it's a culmination of all different things. Nature is bigger than me. The way that nature lives and it breathes, and it things grow, and they merge into each other. Like, if you get two flowers and you get the horticultural people, I don't know what name they are, see? Acceptance, I do not know. The horticultural people, they'll put two species or two types of flower and they'll merge them together and they'll get a new kind of flower. Now that is something that blows my mind. You know, that is something that I can't work in my head. To me, that is pure magic. That is pure magic. How things that are totally beyond my understanding, or will ever be beyond, I'll never be able to understand. That acceptance to know that there are things a lot bigger and greater than I'll ever be. And to have that acceptance is really good, because, you know, it's delving with the ego. Sorry, my little dog's off again. She does it every single time I record, this dog. See, that's bigger than me. That's something that's beyond my control. I can't control when someone knocks on my door. They're going to do it. And I just have to accept that. But no, it's all the different things that are in life, like humanity. You know, I've got 4 children. I've got 9 grandchildren. And I was present at the birth of 2 of my grandchildren. And to me, that was the most magical, even though I've had my own children, that was the most magical thing I had ever seen. And that is one of my greatest gifts in my life, was to be present when my grandchildren, 2 of my grandchildren were born. But even though I'd had 4 children myself, it suddenly smashed in my head, or went in my head, I don't know how you want to put it. How the hell does that work? How do you, another little human being, another person, okay, which may have some traits of yours, but is totally individual, that little person be nurtured and grow from what you give it, what you feed it, your characteristics, your things like that. Now, to me, that is something greater than anything in this world, anything. So to me, that was a big thing in my head. You know, I was like, wow. You know, we tend to, or me personally, sometimes we forget that when I use we, I don't mean we, I mean me, but I say we because I'm talking to you. Yeah, one of my little tangents, there you go. We, in life, sometimes we can walk around and not notice anything, be so focused on what we've got to do that day, what we need that day, what do we want to order off Amazon that day, what do we want to buy or get our nails done or things like that. We go on our journeys, but we don't acknowledge the journey, if you know what I mean, if you know what I'm saying. And a part of this is, I've had this little book, because as a lot of you know, I was in recovery from alcoholism. I've been 8 years sober, January, and that is one of my biggest achievements for me. And I when I done the recovery, the rehab, whatever, however you want to put it, we had, it was quite intense. It was like, the way that I've explained it to people is like when you open a jigsaw puzzle and it's been completed in the box. When you were little and you used to do them jigsaw puzzles and they were completed, and you'd complete them in the box and leave them in there. It was like being that jigsaw puzzle and having somebody pick it up and tip it all out, tip the pieces and scatter them all over the floor, and then you have to put it back together again. That's the way that I can describe that. But anyway, well, that we had courses with Buddhist monks and Tibetan monks and Reiki and all sorts of things with this recovery program, which was absolutely amazing, changed my life totally, and for that is one of my biggest gratitudes. But while I was doing that, I bought a little book. It's this little book, and it says, when you are on a journey, it is certainly helpful to know where you're going, but remember the only thing that is ultimately real about your journey is the step that you are taking at this moment. That's all there ever is. And that's one of the little things for me, because we walk somewhere, might go to work, but on autopilot, yeah, you don't realise that you're actually walking. You know, how many times do you walk to the shop? You've come out the front door, you know you've locked your front door, yeah, you're mindful of locking your front door, and then the next minute you're at the shop and you've got what happened to the space in between. It's noticing the space in between, the step that you're walking, the journey that you're making. So anyway, that's that bit. But so I'd say, you know, I've always believed in spirit, and I've got a fly on my blinds. Good morning, fly. I've always believed in spirit. I've always believed in reincarnation. I believe that sometimes we get fears, and we've got no idea of why we're scared of that fear. We don't know why we've got that fear, yeah? We cannot recollect anything that has made that fear come to us. Sometimes we can. I mean, if you've had if you swallowed a sweet, you get sometimes, that fear of choking can come. But sometimes you get that, you get that fear of, heights. A fear of stepping off like a pavement, a fear of the water, a fear of fire. And you might not have any idea why you've got that fear. Nothing's happened to connect you from that fear. And my belief is that it's from a past life, that maybe something happened in a past life that develops a fear. So, what I'm trying to say is that I believe in reincarnation, and I believe that we come back, and like deja vu, when you know that you've been somewhere before, you know that you've been to that place, you can describe that place, you know you've been there, but you ain't, you haven't been, 100%, you have not visited that place ever in your life, but you know things about that place. You've been in these alleyways or them streets, or seen that on the hill, or things like that. You know that you've been there. Or you'll have a conversation with someone and you'll go, have I told you that before? And they go, no. You're like, hell, I'm sure I told you before. I know that, I feel that we've had this conversation before. What is that? Is that a premonition? Is that something of your way of seeing into the future? Or is that a replay of something that may have happened before? Don't know. So anyway, sometimes I'll go off on one, but you just have to bear with me, I'm afraid. But being spiritual, helping other people, that's nourishing, I think, to yourself. It gives you a good feeling. I don't know, when you see somebody's face when you've helped them, and they don't know you're going to help them, you don't know that you're going to help them. It can be just the tiniest little thing. Like if you're out in the street and somebody drops something, you pick it up and you give it to them. you know, you're helping that person. Or to smile at somebody, you're helping that person. Most of the time they'll smile back, and giving that smile back, or that little interaction, you know, saying good morning to somebody as you pass them. You might be the only person they speak to, but you're helping them. You know, be truthful. That's a big thing. And be mindful how you're truthful. Because I think that's quite hard sometimes, especially because I'm a blunt person. I do sometimes, a lot of the time, I really have to think about things before I speak. Sometimes it don't happen at all. It just comes out of my mouth and I've said it. But I try, and that's all I can do. I try to think of not what I'm going to say, but how I'm going to say it before I say it. Yeah, I will speak my truth, but it's learning how to speak my truth. You know, it was learning how to put things in a different way than just blurt it out. Forgiving people and myself, that was the biggest one. Learning how to forgive yourself, you know, or myself, for the mistakes that I've made, for the things that I've done, for the upset that I've caused. You know, trying to make amends for those things. And I'm a big believer in the word sorry. To me, sometimes is just a word. You know, I'm a big believer in actions. You know, you can say sorry to somebody, that's nice, but also to prove that you're sorry, you know, especially if that's something big. A gratitude journal. I have, you know, even if it's just one little thing a day. You can do it at night, or you can do it in the morning. It's up, you know, up to you. Or don't do it at all. Just one thing that you're grateful for that day. You know, it doesn't have to be a present thing. It doesn't have to be a monetary thing. I've found that a lot of the time some of the things that are most precious aren't monetary at all. You know, so like what you're grateful for, and to listen to your instincts, because a lot of the time, if you feel something, it's right. You know, so listen to your instincts and how you go on. And also with there's a 5-5-5 thing in spirituality, or what we learned way back, and it's like I had to write it down so I couldn't remember what it was. 5 minutes of meditation, because if you do things naturally, you don't think about them, do you? You don't, like when you put the kettle on, you don't think about going to the tap, turning the tap on, letting the water fill the kettle, taking the kettle back over, clicking the button and watching the kettle boil. You don't think about all the things that come between you and having that drink. Yeah, which is another mindful thing. But anyway, so like 5 minutes meditation, 5 minutes stretching, 5 minutes mentally preparing yourself for the day. So it's the 3 5s. So it takes you 15 minutes. So if you get up early, if you get up 15 minutes earlier, I mean, I cannot and never have been able to get up and get dressed, washed and go out. I can't do it. Cannot do it. If that's an emergency, I guess I could, but there would be no thinking about it, would there? Or I wouldn't have time to think about anything. But I cannot get up and go out. I have to get up. I make my coffee or my tea. I have a routine every day, which is I have to have 1 cup of tea when I first wake up, and then I have a cup of coffee. And it really puts me off if it's like I'm off kilter. It's messes my whole day up if I have no tea before I have my coffee. Yeah. So that is one of the big things. I have to do that, and then I will look through social media, check my emails and any messages and things that I have. I'll check through all that. Then I will, I take that little time to think. And that may be, sometimes I can look like I'm reading a book and nothing's going in, because my mind, I'm thinking. I'm not reading what's on them pages. I'm not looking at pictures or whatever. So, they are that's my morning sort of thing. Then I'll go up and I'll pull a card for the day, because that's part of my spirituality, is my tarot and my oracle cards. They are a big thing. They are one of them things that I believe myself. So they give me answers to the day. I might ask, something like, what do I need to pay attention to today? And they'll give me the answers. So tarot and oracle are a big part of my spirituality. So is reading and learning. That's a big part of my spirituality. It might only be, I don't know, I'm going to have a little look here, see what I've got in my book thing, which is right beside me. Like the Country Wisdom and Folklore Diary. I get that, and I like to look at it, and I'm trying to find today's thing. No, I'll just read you this little bit, yeah? It's just like in the morning, or a little thing what will start your brain into thinking. This is an Autumn Beckons, and I've just opened it on a normal page. It says the weather on the 20th, 21st and 22nd of September is said to be a prediction of what the weather will be like during the coming October, November and December. So like the 20th would be October, the 21st would be November, and the 22nd would be December. And it says it's also believed that the weather on the 21st of September, which is St. Matthew's Day, tells us what we should expect of the year's growing season. And then there's a little rhyme poem. St. Matthew get a candle new, St. Matthew brings the cold rain and dew, but Matthew's Day, bright and clear, brings good wine in next year. So if the day is really good on the 21st of September, then it will bring in a good harvest. And things like that, things to learn and, to read. And reading a little bit every day is a good way for me to incorporate into my day, because it's something to reflect on, it's something to think on, it's something to look at. Finding out about yourself is a big part of spirituality, isn't it? Like I said, I've done that with ADP. Finding out things about you and looking at the positive things, because it's so easy to look at things negatively, isn't it? Like you might be going into town today, for example, and it's absolutely pouring with rain. It is really cold here and it is raining, but and so looking at it negatively would be like, oh, I'm gonna get wet. Is that worth going? Shall I go? Oh, I'm gonna get drenched, and the coat's gonna get wet, and the hair's gonna look crap, and the makeup's gonna look awful, and blah blah blah. And when you could look at it on the side of, it's just water. We need water. You don't let it stop you doing what you were gonna do. It's rain. Get an umbrella. And the positive thing is that the earth needs the water. And the sound when you're walking to your bus or you're walking to work is really good. I like the sound of rain. I find it really comforting noise. But when you hear the cars go past and they make that shh, that's like a letting go sort of sound. So try and look at the positive, or I try and look at the positive on a negative. Like, I don't know. There's so many things I can't think. You know, there's always a positive side. You know, if you decide not to go because it is absolutely hammering it down and you haven't got a raincoat, blah, 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 then think of what you can do indoors for that day, or that moment, or that hour, however long it lasts, I don't know. You know, oh, okay, it's raining outside. Well, instead of going out in the rain, which I really don't want to do, I'll spend the day decluttering that drawer with all the crap. I think we've all got one. Drawer with all the mess and the bits in. I'll spend an hour doing that. Or I'll spend an hour looking through some old photos that I've got. Or, you know, there's something positive. Don't look at it as if, sit down and go, oh, I really wanted to go out today and now I can't go, so I'm just going to sit here, do nothing and look miserable because it's raining. You know, think of, try and do the positive when there is a negative. Believing that you're worth things, you know, believing that you are worth a lot in yourself, you know, acknowledging your body, you know, try to, I've got a little note what I've put on my cupboard, just over there, and it says, drink 2 litres of water a day, eat breakfast every day, meditate in the morning. And that's a mantra that I try to have every single day. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just don't want breakfast. I've never been a breakfast eater anyway, but I'm trying to incorporate that. So I'm trying to bring that into my daily routine, which I believe is also part of spirituality, as well as like the normal things that people, you know, I have salt lamps, I have candles, I have oils, I have crystals. I use all of those, and I have my tarot, and you know, they are also part of my spirituality because I do certain things at different times with those things. You know, set an intention for the day. You know, what do you want for that day? Today I am going to, what are you going to do? Today I want to, you know, and not living in the ego. You know, ego I think is a crappy thing when you feel superior to somebody else, or that your opinion is more important than those, or the way that you look at things is better, because it's not. You know, and the things that happen that seem to be a coincidence, they're not always coincidences, are they? They're, I believe personally, sometimes there's signs for us. You know, sometimes they're things, taking notice of the things that are around us, you know, and things that we wouldn't normally see. You know, you rush past that tree every morning when you go out. Have you ever took time to stop and look at the tree? Acknowledge what is around for us, accepting things and letting them go. You know, oh, I feel really angry today. Accept that you feel angry. You know, it's nature. It's part of being a human. Accept that you feel angry. You know, feel that feeling, and then let it go. You know, letting go, holding on to things is, to me personally, is not good. You've got to let go. You've got to let go of things. You know, acknowledging negative thoughts. If you get a negative thought come in, okay, it's there. Hear it, listen to it, move with it. You know, the water's always going to be rough, but we need to surf for it. Learn to surf is the saying, isn't it? The sea is always, no, I can't remember. The sea is always rough or something like that. So we need to learn to surf rather than moan at the sea being rough. But yeah, and like I say, so my tarot, my crystals and everything like that is really an important part of my spirituality. Plants are a part of my spirituality. I have plants all over the place. Because looking after a plant is a big thing, you know, to me, because you're nurturing that plant, you're getting the beauty of that plant back, you're feeling that plant. And there's a card. I'm just shuffling my cards as I go. This Lantern Oracle I've got out at the moment, because for the time of year it's just them colours, that burgundy winey colour, and you know, so I thought I'll just, to finish it off, I'll just pull a card. I'm going to take top one and see what we get. Yeah, we have got, wow, that's crazy. We have got radical self-love. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. And that is the card. And I've got the book here, and I'm going to read what it says. Consciousness is light. The crone has completed the circle of phases and perspectives pertaining to feminine consciousness. Maiden, mother, guardian, crone. The lanterns hanging from the featured crone's wrists. I'm reading the wrong one. I'm so sorry. See what a div. There we go. Don't know where I got that, do you? Okay. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. So how accurate is that for what I've just been talking about? That's just crazy. The world and people around us mirror our relationship with self. All of the ways we mistakenly seek and rely on love from others and the world is made of the need to be in harmonious breath with the unconditional love that we, in essence, are. True self is the absolute transparent connection with the pure love that spirit self is. The self-love to be accessed within is unlimited, and something that none of us ever needs to go without or be disconnected from. When we turn away from unconditional love that we are and have to give and receive, it becomes suppressed energy that burns unhealthily. This is what hurts us and leaves us hungry, and it is actually freely available to us in abundance. Nonetheless, what is our love and radiance gets unnaturally buried in the darkness of our inattention. To deny and subdue the radiant love, generosity and kindness of who and what we are resonates. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Until we embody just how radical and pure our self-love is, we are not open to receive or vibrationally match unconditional love from others or the universe. The crone has shown up to assure you that there is nothing that you have to do, be, or become in order to be worthy of unconditionally loving yourself just as you are. Just as there is nothing you have to do, be, or become in order to be worthy of breathing, all that is required is that you allow your breath to continue. It knows how. You do not need to do anything more. This is the same with the unconditional self-love within you. It knows how to be the living breath of you within the world. So it does go on quite a bit, that one, so I won't read it all. But yeah, so self-love. So that is our message for today. Well, I hope that I had a few people ask me to do the spirituality one, and you know, it's, to me, it's not all salt lamps, incense and things like that. It goes a lot deeper, and I hope that I've touched on some things that might resonate with you, and that what you do. I'd love to see your VRs. I'd love to see what your spirituality involves. I mean, I haven't done some of my things that I do because obviously they're private to me, they're mine, but I hope that I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your responses and your opinions. I do like to hear opinions. You know, as long as people are sort of mindful and think about how they're going to put things before they put them, because sometimes things can come up, you know, harsh, can come out quite harshly, and it's not nice. So on that note, have a wonderful day, people. You know, be mindful, be you. Don't forget that self-love. And I'll be back soon. Ta-da.